I'm standing in the midst of chaos, my heart racing, as my father's aggressive tone pierces through the air, sending shivers down my spine. The sound of my own voice, laced with desperation, echoes in my mind, "Stop, just stop." But he won't, he never does. The memories of his outbursts, the fear that grips me, it's all too familiar. My father's anger, a force so powerful, it's left an indelible mark on my life. As I pull back, I see the intricate web of relationships that have led me to this point. My parents, 44 and 48, have always been a force to be reckoned with. Their relationship, which began when my mom was just 16, has been a volatile mix of passion and anger. I grew up in a household where my mom, dad, and I lived with her parents, a space that was often filled with tension. My husband, Liam, 27, entered my life in 2019, and we married in 2022. We have 3 beautiful children together, and our love for each other has been a beacon of hope in the midst of chaos. But, my family, particularly my parents and brother, Kai, 21, have made our lives a constant struggle. My parents' behavior, a toxic mix of emotional abuse, manipulation, and control, has taken a toll on my mental health. My father's outbursts, which often left me shaken, were always followed by my mom's attempts to calm him down, to placate him. But, in doing so, she would often turn on me, blaming me for his behavior. The emotional whiplash was exhausting, and I often felt like I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when the next explosion would occur. Kai, my brother, has always been treated like a golden child, never held accountable for his actions. His entitlement is staggering, and his lack of empathy towards others is disturbing. As I reflect on my life, I realize that I've been trying to escape my parents' grasp for years. In 2018, before meeting Liam, I attempted to move in with a friend, but my mom's manipulation kept me tethered to her. She would use guilt, threats, and coercion to control me, to keep me in line. Even after I turned 18, she continued to exert her influence over me, refusing to let me go. It wasn't until I met Liam that I began to see a glimmer of hope, a chance to break free from my parents' toxic grasp. But, my parents' behavior didn't change even after we got married and had children. They would often show up at our house, unannounced, and expect us to cater to their needs. My father would yell at us, belittle us, and my mom would manipulate us, using her tears and guilt to get what she wanted. Kai, on the other hand, would just sit back, enjoying the chaos, never lifting a finger to help. The double standards were staggering, and the lack of boundaries was suffocating. In 2023, we took Kai in, hoping to provide a safe haven for him. But, it soon became apparent that he was not interested in changing his ways. He would refuse to work, to pay bills, or to contribute to the household in any meaningful way. He would just sit around, playing video games, watching TV, and expecting everyone else to cater to his needs. My parents would often enable his behavior, making excuses for him, and blaming us for his lack of motivation. The final straw came when my father's anger boiled over, and he physically attacked me. I had asked him to stop yelling, to calm down, but he just escalated, his anger and aggression pouring out like a torrent. I lost my composure, and in a moment of desperation, I threw something at him. But, he just wouldn't stop. He grabbed me, threw me on the bed, and banged my head against the headboard. The sound of my children's screams, the feeling of helplessness, it's a memory that I will never forget. In the aftermath of that incident, I realized that I had to take a stand. I couldn't just sit back and let my parents' behavior continue to destroy our lives. I told Liam that we needed to move out, to get away from the toxic dynamic that was suffocating us. But, financially, it's not possible, at least not yet. We're living paycheck to paycheck, with barely enough money to cover our expenses. The thought of leaving, of starting anew, is daunting, but it's also exhilarating. As I look at my parents, at Kai, I realize that I'm not the problem. I'm not the one who's toxic, who's abusive. I'm just a victim of their behavior, a casualty of their war. But, I'm not going to take it lying down. I'm going to fight, to stand up for myself, for my husband, and for our children. We deserve better, we deserve to be happy, to be free from the toxic grasp of my parents. The question is, am I wrong for finally reaching my breaking point with this family dynamic? Should I just suck it up and continue to endure the abuse, the manipulation, and the control? Or should I take a stand and fight for my right to be happy, to be free? The answer, for me, is clear. I will not be silenced, I will not be oppressed. I will rise up, and I will take back control of my life. The question is, will you stand with me, or will you judge me for finally finding the courage to say enough is enough?
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop your verdict in the comments below, subscribe for new stories every single day, and hit the notification bell so you never miss one.